The symbol includes the name of the church contained within the cornerstone. Jesus Christ is the chief cornerstone.
Don't call me out. Travis Wayne Goodsell. Oh, Mabel. If only she had sex ed. She would understand why the guy does what he does, so that she doesn't want to call him up, or want him to call her up. Anyway, the bathroom is overrun by female security and staff. As we do have segregated bathrooms, by the way, just like in the South. But so I'm not able to use the bathroom, so we'll just do a video for you. As you can see, I'm not bleeding yet, but yeah, not good. The Pamela Atkinson's Men's Resource Center. In 2019, the Road Home was selected to operate the Pamela Atkinson Resource Center, which it was just named last October. I did the video, and yet they're now anachronisming that it was always called the Pamela Atkinson Resource Center. No. See, this is a problem in the church as well. There's a lot of anachronisms. Oh, Joseph Smith set up the succession of the president of the church in this exact same manner. Those types of things. Not just in the Book of Mormon. The anachronisms that are in there. A 300-bed emergency shelter. Utah Building Code for shelters requires that there be one toilet per 8 people. We have 21 toilets, including the one downstairs. Can't count the women's or the non-gender or whatever is titled on the sign. Not that one either. But yeah, that 8 times 21 is 168. This building, therefore, according to the number of bathrooms available for 8 persons per toilet, means that we're only supposed to be at 168 capacity. And it's 300 bed? Yeah, in violation of Utah Building Code. The men in South Salt Lake. Guests are connected to crisis services, such as guest services, guest Wi-Fi, as beds. See, this is, you notice the wording here. This is a crisis service center. It's not meant to be housing for the homeless. Okay? Such as beds, 3 daily meals. We get 3 times where they serve food, not necessarily meals. Showers, no towels. We have never had towels. Blankets, clothing, laundry, and more. Importantly, our case managers help guests create a housing plan. To God. 7 years go by, I file complaints. They dump me off on the case manager to distract and give me false hope. And she's talking to me about wanting to meet with me on a regular basis to create a housing plan. I don't want a housing plan. I already know my housing plans. Get a house. Get me a house. Get me out of here. Don't want to develop a housing plan. I don't want to spend months developing a housing plan. I want out. Connecting them to resources. This supposed to be the resource center, and instead they have people connect us to outside resources to help them find a lasting home. Yeah, that ain't being done. Nope, because they aren't connecting me to the resources. There are no resources. We partner with many community organizations to provide resources, including job development. Not applicable for me. Public benefits. That's probably the only thing they do for us and can hook us up with. They have in their case office for us to visit a laptop where we can communicate directly with an agent of DWS and talk to them directly. That's probably the only thing they do for us to hook us up with IDs and benefits. But substance use, yeah, a lot of people on drugs here. We're all considered the same. Drug using, criminal, mentally ill, poor people without a home. It's all the same. Mental health assessment. Really? Yeah. It's Valley Behavioral Health next door. And I've told you how they're a fraud and a con. How the whole system works. And if you're unfamiliar with it because you didn't watch the video, think of a bully, whether it was you or the one who bullied you back in grade school. It's the exact same thing. Name call, repeat the name calling day after day after day after day, extort you for your money, and physically abuse you. Psychologists. It's so interesting, the people who are bullied are the ones who go into psychology when they're older. So that they can be the bullies. Isn't that great? And treatment. Yeah, that's part of the box category name calling categorization system you develop. Okay. And then housing assistance. You repeated that? There is no housing assistance. It requires housing for us. And the state of Utah and the counties and the cities have purposely allotted the land for other building purposes, other use purposes, rather than for the building of homes for the homeless, or that the homeless can also equally participate in. And yeah, there's a Title 42, but that's... So, let's see, let's get to the Board of Trustees. Don't call me up. Alright, so the Board of Trustees for 2022-2023 is Becky Pickle. She's the Community Advocate President. Christina Huntsman Durham, Community Advocate, Board Secretary. Keb Brady, UBS Bank, Board Treasurer. Greg M. Johnson, Intermountain Healthcare, past president. And then we'll skip down all the list of trustees to Rick Foster, the Church of Jesucristo de los Santos de los Últimos Días. Huh. How well did I do on that? Did I botch it? And so, where's Gail Miller? Because you hear about Gail Miller, and there's also a Romney that was on the board also. Where are they? Did she poll? Emeritus representatives emeritus. They have changed this. That's interesting. Because it's not... Yeah, they don't have the pictures here anymore that I used to post for you. That is funny. They have changed it. Okay. So they are emeritus, but why do you keep using them if they're now emeritus? Oh, wait, let's see. Also representative. Oh, okay, just Stephen Eliason. He's from the Utah House of Representatives. He's emeritus. Okay, so Rick Foster's still involved. But I don't see their pictures anymore. I don't have their pictures. I don't see Gail Miller or the Romney guy. Yeah, that's interesting. So they have changed it recently as I've done videos preceding their changes. Interesting. Okay, so let's go to, as we're at 11 minutes, dear God. So I guess we can't really go over it, can we? The federal law has a number of laws that need to be followed. And we believe in being subject to kings, presidents, rulers, magistrates, and obeying, honoring, and sustaining the law, right, Mormons? So that means that no law can be exempt for the church, right, Mormons? Jesus can't come down and give revelation to violate the law because he was the one who gave the revelation to follow the law. You get the point? Jesus can't create an exemption clause to his laws. And yet you'll hear Mormons make the justifications and excuses to allow for such. And so there's federal law code for human trafficking, laundering of money, the use of the drugs, racketeering, and also includes money laundering, but also the payment for murder with the drug use and other such things to murder with. But human trafficking we'll conclude with here. We'll go over that one specifically because laundering of money, it's tithing. You all know that now, right? Shouldn't have to keep repeating that for you. It's protection racket. The racketeering. So, term abuse, involuntary, it's 11B. Severe forms of trafficking in persons. The term severe forms of trafficking in persons means B, the recruitment, harboring, shelter, transportation, provision, say to harbor is to give a home or shelter to an individual. Provision, the action of providing or supplying something for use. The shelter of a person for labor or services through the use of force, kind of homeless, forced to be homeless, was evicted for that purpose, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of subjecting to involuntary servitude, peonage, debt bondage. This is where the church comes in. Mormons, you remember any of this? Oh, you're too young, you don't remember it anymore? I do. Yep, we are forced to pay tithing with the penalty of death for disobedience or slavery. And chattel slavery is the specific use of humans, allows people considered legal personal property because a private company hired by the government of Utah, the church is now on the board of trustees, to be bought sold, and owned. They make money off of us. They just had the emergency order given for this winter time, in which they're allowed to harbor an extra 100 per shelter. Plus they opened up another office building for the use of expanded shelter use. This is all part of the human trafficking, because with that executive order from the city mayors, you get more money for the shelter in order to handle the increase of the chattel of the homeless. And fascinating, isn't it, guys? And so this is the dilemma that Mormons are in, because they know they're not allowed to commit crimes. They know the church is not allowed to commit crimes. And yet they justify and make excuses for the church, who are blatantly, obviously, publicly committing crimes, as I am a victim of such, as I've been covering the videos for years now.
Attention guests, please make sure radios have earbuds on. Thank you.
Don't call me back. So, yeah. You can't justify evil, guys. You can't justify crime. The church is corrupt. And these are the consequences of a corrupt, fraudulent church. They commit crime.